Hi, I'm Captain Archie Jost here with a little sea story that could possibly save your life. Back in 1993, I was fishing alone off of Stewart, Florida on my 45-foot little longline boat that I built. It was a center console with a nice little fish hole in it. And then in the spring I used to go out and catch a lot of mahi. And I used to go alone. I used to set my autopilot and set out like 270 hooks all by myself. And one day I came in and I tied the boat up, and my brother, who lived across the canal where I kept the boat at that time, used to yell at me, you shouldn't be out there fishing by yourself. You shouldn't be out there fishing by yourself. So I said, I thought about it a little bit, but I didn't have anybody to go, and I needed to fish, so I went. So I came in this one day. It was a crummy day, and I tied up to the dock, and I was washing the boat down, hosing the boat down. I was standing on a gunnel, and I slipped, and I fell down between the boat and the dock. Caught my shoulder on the way down, hurt myself pretty bad. And my brother saw me falling, and he comes running out and he starts yelling at me, this is just what if this happened to you offshore and that boat was going along all by itself? You'd be in the water, the boat's on autopilot, you'll lose your life out there. I'm not letting you, he said to me, I'm not letting you do this anymore. I'm not going to let you go out and do this, because one of these days the boat's going to be going, you won't come home. So until you get somebody to do it, you're not going fishing. Well, the fishing was good, so I got to go. Next morning I get up real early, and I go down to Pirates Cove Marina. There was a charter head boat that left out there, and I'm looking, and all the guys are getting on this boat. This kid comes pulling up in a pickup truck, grabs 3 rods, gets out of his pickup truck, runs and puts them in the back corner of the boat. And I could tell that the kid was like really energetic, the way he was running around to get his rods. So I went over to him. He was coming back to park his truck, and I said, so what's your name? He says, my name is Richie. I said, Richie what? Richie Sisto. I said, Richie, you're paying to go on that boat today, aren't you? He goes, yeah. I said, what does it cost you to go on that boat? He says, $30. I says, I'll pay you to come fishing with me. I'll pay you to come fishing with me. And Richie says, oh no, you can't pay me enough to go. He says, I'll win the pool today. I says, well, how much is the pool? He says, it'll be 60 or 70 bucks. So I said, so in other words, it's going to cost you, and you're going to pay 30, you're going to win 60 or 70. I'll give you 150 to come with me for the day. Well, that's all he had to hear. And I said, you'll fish with me for the whole day. So he gets his rods off the boat. I says, follows me home. We get on a boat and we go out. It was a crummy day, actually. A lot of squalls around. And we set the gear. I set my 6 miles of gear. I come back to the end of the gear. We were catching mahi on rods and reels while we were trolling back. He was having such a great time. We come back to the gear, and a squall is coming, a really bad squall. And I pull right up to my high flyer, and I have the stern almost right against the high flyer. Now the squall comes through, and it's blowing. It's blowing. And the wind and the rain. Well, I'm sitting, and this had a big center console. I'm sitting here, and Richie's sitting over here, and the holding station's behind me over here. And on the holding station, I have this black umbrella that I had hooked up there to keep the sun off me while I was hauling the fish in. So I'm sitting there, and I can't see anything on the radar. It's all snow. It's all snow because of the rain. So I'm sitting there, and Richie looks over and he says to me, he says, what is that over there? And I look and I says, that's the umbrella. He says, no, what's that behind the umbrella? And I looked and I said, holy shit, that's a ship. It was right here. There was dolphins coming out of the bow, off the bow wake, out of the water. I didn't know whether to go forward or reverse to get away from that ship, but I just moved forward, and the ship hit my high flyer right dead on nose. I'm sitting there, I'm looking, I look at Richie, I said, Richie, if you weren't with me, that ship would have taken me out. I would have been dead today. So Richie Sisto, and he fished with me. He went on to fish with me for like 2 years. We had a great time together. He was a great mate. We caught a lot of fish together. But that kid saved my life, because I would have never looked and saw that ship coming. I would have been still looking in the radar. But that's a story that should make you realize when you go out fishing alone, you got to really think twice about everything you do, because you wouldn't, that's not falling overboard, that's a ship running you down. So I just thought it was a really neat story, and I wanted to share it.